What are dreams? Are dreams just a little buffer between that moment you close your eyes to the moment you wake up and live your life? If that's true, are dreams just a commercial where you don't pay attention to it and go make yourself a hot dog? Or are dreams the real world? Are dreams what if our dreams were what if our dreams was the reason we are alive? What if our dreams are trying to tell us something? What if our dreams, hey, what's up, is reality? How are we going to do this? I don't know. Earlier today, I shared that dream out loud. All right, so I'm supposed to tell you about my dream. Of course, yeah, to something. So, little background. Hold on. A little background. I was hanging out at my girl's place, and I have a lot of dreams. But lately, I've been forgetting them. They say it's because you smoke weed. There's a bunch of people that say after they smoke weed, hello from the editing floor. So I had to stop my little mumble jumble because what I notice about episodes I do is that I would be going on a rant and I miss say something because I have a speech impediment. But what I meant to say there was after you stop smoking weed. After you stop smoking. Let's get back. They have really intense dreams. But, I mean, I'm still a weed smoker, but I'm not smoking every day like I used to. So maybe that means my dreams are more intense. I'm remembering them now. Because they say if you don't dream, you pretty much die. You need a dream. But the problem is you don't remember them. But I've been remembering them. This one in particular, it was pretty weird. So, we're at my girl's place, and we took a nap. And it was a pretty good nap. I would say like 45-minute nap. But in those 45 minutes, I trip out because I'm the type that I will self-diagnose myself as a insomniac. I feel like I have insomnia. It's hard to explain, but usually on a good day or a good night, I get like 6 hours of sleep. But once I'm asleep, I'm good. It's just getting there that's so hard. Sometimes I'll be up until 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, and I would have to wake up at 11. Well, that was before. I'm no longer at the post office. It was a great job. I'm going to miss it. But I'm transitioning into something new. The post office was great money. Don't get me wrong. A lot of overtime. You fuckers out there like mail anything. You guys will mail dildos, bleach, ashes. That was the trippiest one when I saw like human ashes getting delivered at the post office. I think I said too much. But yeah, I tripped myself out because the mood was perfect. We were watching a movie and all of a sudden the person I am, I could never fall asleep right now. It's the middle of the day. We're drinking a beer. We're watching a movie. There's no way I'm going to fall asleep. But something happened. I took a nap. I fell asleep. But the last thing I remember after that, because I fought it. I tried to fight it. Be like, nah. Don't fall asleep. You're enjoying the day. But I still fell asleep. And the dream started. For those 45 minutes that I was asleep, or we were asleep, I should ask her what her dream was. But for those 45 minutes, this dream, you can't tell time in dreams. But I guess this is what I garnished. Because I don't think I dreamt anything else. Like usually when I forget dreams, I forget them, but it's one big story. Sometimes I remember having like 2 dreams, but I think I had woken up and then fell asleep and had a different dream. I don't think your dreams you could jump from dream to dream in one dream, but That's very rare in my opinion. If it's happened to you, please reach out. I would love to know. I would love to know what you guys are dreaming. But for me, it's like one dream sums up your whole 8-hour sleep schedule. That's if you fall asleep, 8 hours, wake up. You're not waking up in between, to go pee or to just be like, whoa, that was a crazy ass dream. But for those 45 seconds that we fell asleep, this, what I'm telling you from start to finish, is exactly as how it happened. All right, check one. So I was outside. It was like daylight. Felt like a summer night. Well, not summer night. I'm sorry. A summer day. Not too hot though. Not a blistering hot summer day. But around 86, 87 degrees. But I was outside. And the scenery was almost like cornfield. Like a big cornfield. Like out in the Midwest. If they have cornfields. But the corns weren't too high yet. They were kind of like baby corn plants or whatever you might call them. But to the right of us, there was this building, plant looking, distribution center, tall white building. But that was just to the right of us. To the left of us was the cornfield. You could see out into the distance. But in the dream, it was my brother, Harvey. And then my coworker and supervisor, Armando. And I don't think we were talking. The first thing I remember seeing was an airplane in the sky. And it was pretty low. And from the vision is the airplane went from the right side of the building. It crept from behind and then appeared. And it was going towards the left of my vision. And you could hear that the airplane was having trouble. I tell Armando, whoa, that airplane, there's something wrong with that airplane. Or something along those lines. Because I don't even know if you hear language in dreams. Honestly, I think about that a lot. That do you really hear language in dreams or do you just feel it? I think it's a little both because I think I have heard language, but it's something to think about. But the funny part about this part is that the dream, it honestly felt kind of real because I brushed it off. This ain't the first dream I have about airplane crashing. I probably had other two. But the one I remember is that an airplane crashed in the mountain that you could see from my backyard. That's pretty much what I remember. But I expected that to happen from the one crashing in the mountain. I didn't expect this plane to actually crash. When I heard the crash and the shocked faces in all three of us, we were like, what the fuck? When we saw laid eyes back on the crash site, the plane was on fire. I could still see little bits of orangey, not even red, it's still not red, it's just orange, yellowish red, just flames. But they didn't look too bad. So this crash happened it was 2 football fields away. So what we decided to do is run after the plane. Try to see if we could save anyone. And I don't even think we got to 40 or 50 yards. And we seen an explosion. But the funny part about this dream is it felt so real because we saw the explosion first, and we had time to analyze that and react to it. Because when we saw the explosion, our first instinct was to run back to get away from that upcoming wave of the explosion. So we're running back, and I think, just to give it time, it was like 3 seconds of like, holy shit, how am I going to prepare for this? So in those 3 seconds, I just decided to jump. And when I jumped, I felt the blast of the explosion just push me towards the building, the white building I told you about. And all of a sudden, I see my brother. I don't think he jumped. The blast just threw him against the wall of the building. And then he turned into another supervisor I had at the USPS. And this is a lady. Shout out to Mary Campos, Apps Tour 2. So the blast of that wave of the explosion like fucked us up. And this is the last appearance of my brother / Mary Campos. Because the next thing I remember is Armando and we run back towards the plane because the blast happened. But all of a sudden, when we were getting close to it, the plane didn't look like it was on fire. But as we were getting like, I would say 20 or 30 yards from the cabin, because I guess the cabin, all you could see, like, it's like the nose of the cabin was gone. But all you could see is like, kind of like the cabin like exposed. And when we were getting 20 or 30 yards from it, I would say it's like 35 yards from it, all of a sudden you just felt this disintegrating heat coming from it. Like, that was the end. You couldn't get any closer or you'll just disintegrate. And all you were left to do is just to see what's going on. Like I told you, there was no flames, but there was this like invisible flame or this invisible fire, and it had a lot of like potential, like it had a lot of potency, like it had wind like blasting it, like invisible fire, that the heat was just so much to get so close to it, like 20 or 35 yards, like I'm saying. But like at that moment, I thought to myself, like, imagine all the people in there that were dying. Because I remember the screams. The screams were horrible. You could hear babies. You heard the woman scream even more. And it just made you realize that, like, whoa, what the fuck? There was nothing we could do. We were just there to see him or hear them die. Another interesting part of the dream was that even though the cabin was exposed and we could see inside, all I remember was seeing blue seats. And I never saw people getting burnt alive or their bodies like disintegrating. But I could feel it that was happening. I never seen it, but I could feel it. And that's what it was happening like. But an interesting part is, while that was happening, like the plane was just pooping out of the cabin. It's a funny word, but like it was just like pushing out all the seats. And a lot of the seats were ripped. You could see the cushion like coming out of it. But it just kept pushing them out. Like it was nonstop. Like cushions, like big ones and small ones. And even though there's like all the seats are the same size, but this one like had different sizes, different shapes of seats, but it was just all the cushions and the fabric of the seats. The airplane was just pushing them out. And that's where it ended. When I woke up, I was just back on the couch with my head laid back on the cushion, and it was like I came back from another reality. Like a trip almost.